Welcome back, everyone. So today I'm going to do another product review on the Black Diamond Storm R500 headlamp. I'm pretty excited to talk about this headlamp because it really marks a turning point in my lighting system that I use for search and rescue and what I use when I go outside and recreate in the backcountry. This is a pretty fundamental change for me. As you can see, this is very small. The footprint is very tiny. It's a really big change for me. I'm going to show you what that means in relation to my other lighting systems that I used to use, the other things that I use to light up the night, kind of that complement this item here. And then I'm also going to talk about what I think the future looks like for outdoor recreation lighting and what that means when you're moving around at night and some of the cool things that I think that manufacturers are going to introduce. But essentially what I'm going to do here is review this light in comparison to other lights and why I'm moving towards this system and why I'm so excited about it. In order to really talk about this light and why I like it and why I recommend it, I think it's fair to show you what I've previously used. That'll help explain why I'm moving to this light and why I'm really excited about this particular light. So my previous light was this big headlamp here. This is a Phoenix. I love the Phoenix. This throws a fantastic beam. I don't know what the lumens are for this particular light, but it is great. It's a monster, right? It's got 4 AA's here in the back. This goes on the back of your head back here. If you're wearing a helmet, of course, it's going to fit back there as well. It's adjustable, so strictly on your head, on a hat, or on a helmet. All of that works. I've used it in all of those cases. I've used this a lot. You can tell like there's some corrosion here. This is starting to fall apart a little bit. This has had years of use. It's a workhorse. It is a great headlamp in many ways. It's a little bit heavy, and a lot of that weight is at the back. And so if you're wearing it without a helmet, you're going to notice that a little bit. With a helmet on, you don't notice it as much, but it is a little bit heavier, of course. The AA's at the back, I really standardized on AA's. So everything in my pack is a AA. Well, that's not exactly true. Most things are AA. There's still a few things that are not, which I'm going to show you in a minute. But for the most part, I got rid of all those AA's and all the other batteries that I had, all the other battery types. I really standardized on one single set of batteries for this over the years. And what I even did was I went out and I bought these glow-in-the-dark battery holders. They're almost like a battery magazine. And they're great because it keeps my batteries organized, groups of 4 that fit into this perfectly, and they glow in the dark. When I'm rummaging through my bag in the middle of the night, I'm looking for some AA batteries to fit into this because my battery has died. I can't see anything. These jump out at me. I can find them very quickly, and they just deploy out of this very nicely. I recommend you buy these if you're using AA's in any of your equipment. They're great. They're a couple dollars on eBay. I forget what the name of it was, but if you just search for glow-in-the-dark battery holder, I'm sure you'll find them. Yeah, a great little kind of cool thing. And when other people see them, they're like, oh, what's that? And it's kind of a novelty that way as well. But very functional, and I love these. So that's what you can get if you're using this headlamp or something like it that takes AA's. I recommend that. It just fits on your head like this, and like that. It's adjustable, of course. It's got different lights. Let's see if it still works. Yeah, it still works. Great, right? So sorry to blind you. But yeah, so it's got all the problems of a headlamp, of course. When you're with a group and they all have their headlamps on, it's going to shine in your face and cause your night vision to go away, all those sort of things. So it doesn't have any different types of light colors like the red or the green or the blue that you typically see in some modern headlamps. This thing is awesome for power. So it does throw a great beam of light, very spotlight focused. So very direct, very far, very powerful. I forget the lumens, but it's very powerful. It doesn't last a long time. So with the 4 AA's, I will get a few hours, and then it really starts to die. So it's okay, but that's why I carry 2 of these. So I carry this one and another one, plus the 4 batteries in here. So that's 12 AA batteries. Now, if you're counting ounces in your pack, it starts to add up, right? So not only is this heavy, but it's also all the batteries that I take with it, right? So, you know, it adds up. The other thing that I don't like about this light here, in comparison to the new one I've just bought, is that you can see the corrosion. Now, I've had my friends who have actually worn this on their skin and it's burned through their hair. Not good, right? So do you notice it? Yeah, you do, and I've noticed that it's starting to corrode, and that's getting little bit dangerous. I would not want to wear this on my skin for a prolonged period of time. So there's that, right? There's a bit of a safety issue with that. So weight and safety issue right there. So that made me think maybe I should go out and buy a new modern headlamp, something a little more lightweight, something that has some new features. So that brought me to the Black Diamond Storm X 500. 500 is one of their brighter lights. It's still very small, very light. You can look on the website for how many grams it is. I'm not going to go through all the specs, so just go look that up. The strap, of course, is very lightweight. I kind of looked at this and thought that's not going to be that comfortable, but it is. It's fine. It's just so light you don't even notice it's on. It's got a few different levels of beam strength, so you can go from like 10% up to 100%, and so it works out well there. It's not, of course, as strong of a beam as my Phoenix is, right? That thing is really strong. Sends a beam, a very spotlight-like beam, very far. So it doesn't do that. It's more of a floodlight type of beam, so it's more wide as opposed to focused. But for the majority of your activity outdoors at night, what you're looking for is something to light up the path. You're not really looking for 200 feet out, right? I do that a fair bit because I'm looking for things in the woods, lost people, things like that. I'm not strictly recreating where I'm just looking for the trail in front of me. I'm looking for you, right? Out in the woods somewhere. But I have other tools for that. For example, I have this little Phoenix LD20, which is great. This goes on my harness, clips in right here. I can use it as a headlamp, shines down in front of me so I can see where I'm going, or I can look for you with it if you're lost in the woods like this. If this is not enough, which it almost always is, this is very bright, very small, very light. Takes double A's, so that's why I have my double A's there as well. I've got this big beauty, right? So I don't take this everywhere I go, but it's a really super, super bright light, and this will light up the whole forest for me pretty well. So really, when we're talking headlamps, I think the focus should be not so much that really strong spotlight beam, but more of a floodlight, light up what's in front of me, be able to operate for quite a while, not be too heavy. So that's what this is. It does all those things, plus it gives me the different color lighting. So to preserve my night vision and to stop blinding my team members, I thought, wouldn't it be cool if I could go to like a red or a green or a blue even color scheme so that it's a little bit easier on everyone's eyes? Because I can't tell you how many times we blind each other by turning around to talk to somebody and your headlamp just shoots them right in the eyes and they're seeing nothing for seconds, if not minutes, right? So that's what this guy does. You just hit the button a few times. Here, let me do it for you. So that's on. Then if I hold this button down for 2 seconds, it goes to red, green, blue, back to red. So these are cool. I kind of like those. I'm going to try these out a little bit, see how well that works. If I can turn it off. There we go. So I like that. That was pretty cool. But the bigger attraction for me to this, besides it being safe, it not burning the back of my head, it being small and light, the big deal about this light is the way that the battery is set up and the way that you charge it. So it's not your typical double A's anymore. It's not your proprietary battery that my big flashlight takes. Like these, I hate these because they're proprietary. I can't put them in anything else. They're single use. This is one of the few instances where I don't standardize on double A's because I can't. They won't let me. So if you're a manufacturer and you make these proprietary batteries, just know that it's not a good thing for first responders because it's just added weight for us. We can't use it for anything else. So there's that. And probably if you recreate too and you're an ultralighter, you don't want something like that as well, right? So coming back to this, it's not a proprietary battery. It's not a double A. So Rob, what is it? Well, it's a built-in battery and you charge it through USB. I know many of you are going, what? That doesn't sound good. Well, actually, I was thinking the same thing, but it actually works quite good. I charged this up full strength and then I left it on all day. And it ran for 8 hours on full power. After about 8 hours, it started to decline in brightness, but it was still working. So for me, I never usually have it at full brightness. If I'm just lighting up the path in front of me, it might be at 50% or less. So that makes me think I'm going to get at least 8 hours from this, if not more. A typical task for me is about 4 hours in the bush. So if I'm out all night, that's quite rare for me. And so 8 hours of light is more than enough. I mean, it starts to get bright within 8 hours, so this is no longer needed. That's pretty good. That means it takes care of that window without a charge. However, if I was to need a charge, let's say I'm out for multiple days, I have to use this the next night as well, then what? Well, which is really cool, is I could just bring a battery pack like this with me, which I bring anyway for my phone. It's got the USB cable, and I can plug it into this and charge. Yeah, but when I'm charging, I can't use it, right? Actually, I tested this, and you can plug it in while you're using it, and I'm going to do that right now. So let's say I am using it. It's on this red right now. I'm running along. It's like, oh no, it's getting kind of faint. It's starting to go on me. Well, I just take my charger, and I just plug it in like that. Boom. And you can see now it's charging. These little lights here indicate that it's charging. So it's drawing from my power pack here. So, oh, see, that scared me the first time I plugged it in, actually, because it turned off, and I thought, oh, it's not going to charge. It's not going to operate and charge at the same time. But it does. All you got to do is turn it back on, and it's still charging, and it's on. That's what I was looking for. When I bought it, I didn't know it would do that, but that means I can put this in my pocket, I can turn this on, I can keep moving. I know it's charging, I know it's on, so that's great. That's all I could ask for, right? How fast will it charge in comparison to the usage? So what I mean by that is, will it be drawing down faster than it can actually charge? I think the answer to that probably is it depends on how bright the light is. So if you crank it up to 100%, will that overtake the amount of juice that's going into it? Probably, I would think so. But if you just turn on it enough, maybe 10%, 20%, enough to see, I think you may be charging at least at the level to keep using it longer, right? So there's that. I haven't tested that yet. If you've tested it, please let me know how that worked. I'd be really curious, because that's really the big question that's left unanswered from this, right? But I think I've got enough information here to know that this is going to replace my old system here for a few reasons. One, the safety factor. I don't want to burn the back of my head with battery acid. That's never a good day. This is heavy. This is light. This throws an adequate beam of light to see the trail in front of me. I don't necessarily need the spotlight feature that this powerful beam gives me in a headlamp. I already have another device for that. Is it better to have multiple devices that allow you to do the same thing? Yes. We all know that one is none. I totally agree with that. However, this does throw a big enough beam for me to see most things that are in the woods near me. This thing here that I always have with me is my backup. So I do have that redundancy. It does allow me to throw a really solid spotlight into the trees, which is great, more than this does. And then also on some tasks, I'll bring this with me as well if I think I'm going to need it. I don't like carrying this with me because it's big, heavy, and it takes those proprietary batteries. So I think for 95% of the stuff that I do, this is going to be totally fine for search and rescue, for what I use it for, and when I just go out recreating and I think I might be late and it might get dark, this is totally good. So I'm really happy with this so far. I've only used it for a couple months, so there's still a little bit of unknown there, but I think that this is going to work good, and I think that this system here, taking this battery pack with me that I can use to charge this and my cell phone and other devices as they come on board with this sort of system, I think that's going to be the new way of charging your electric systems while you're out hiking or recreating, right? So I think we're going to see more of that. What I also think we may see is easier ways to charge these while you're moving. If I'm charging this while I'm moving, I have a cable plugged into this that goes into my pocket. That's fine. I've done that sort of thing before. It will work. However, what might be nice is if there is a battery component that you can just plug into this, like a module that allows you to charge the main system. We see watches like that have that sort of technology, other things that work like that. So I could see this going in that direction. What we want is a system that we can use 24/7 without interruption and that we can charge on the fly. That's really what we're looking for here. This does that, although it's with cables and it's still a little bit messy. Better than before where I have to turn it off, swap batteries, find my batteries, things like that. But so I think it's an improvement in many ways, and it's what I'm going to be moving towards. One other thing that I'm a little bit critical of on this device is the actual USB connection. This is USB Mini, I think it is. It's not USB-C, so I would have much preferred USB-C because now I have to carry multiple cables with me to charge my different devices. Everyone's going to standardize on USB-C, so why didn't Black Diamond move in that direction? I don't know. Many different vendors don't do that. I don't understand their logic, but I hope the next generation of this headlamp by Black Diamond moves towards USB-C. I think that would be really cool and would show that they're moving in the right direction for this technology. I highly recommend this headlamp. I think it's very affordable in comparison to this headlamp here. It was about half the price. So it's almost at the point where if you lose it or destroy it, it's not the end of the world. It's great. It's light. I could carry 2 or 3 of these and it'd be the same weight as that one. It does what I need. It's a different style of lighting system as far as how you charge it, but I think it's really the future. So yeah, I'm really excited about it. One of the best little bits of kit that I've bought for a while. And so yeah, I'm quite excited about it. Let me know how this works out for you. Do you like this system? Do you like the USB charging? Have you had any problems? And if so, how did you overcome those issues? I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear what your story is in relation to this device. Or maybe you have a better device that you like better and a different style of charging. Love to hear from you. That's it for me. Thanks a lot, everybody. Happy trails.